Welcome to Ravens Over. Please subscribe to my channel, also hit the notification bell, like this video, and share. I want to share this story with you in reference to New York repeal walking while trans law. Now, I find it amazing that we even have this type of conversation with human beings walking around trans. It's kind of like back in the movement of black and whites, blacks and whites. It's so amazing how we're having this type of conversation in 2020. Let me explain to you. Hey, what's up, what's up, what's up? How you doing? How you been? What's going on? What's good? Are you getting it in? Somebody getting it for you? What's going on, people? Okay, New York repeals walking while trans. The story is being reported as of February the 3rd, 2021. Now, the story is stating that New York City Governor Andrew Cuomo signed a bill on Tuesday, repeals the state anti-loitering law, commonly called the walking while trans ban, and critics said the police used to harass law-abiding trans people in particular. Now, it was also stating that the new measures effectively takes off the books in 1976 law that sought out private loitering for the purpose of prostitution. Politicians and LGBTQ advocates say that the law results in a decade of discrimination by the law enforcement. Repealing the walking while trans ban is critical step towards reforming the political system and reducing the harassment and criminalization of transgender people faced simply for being themselves, Cuomo said in a statement. Advocates for repealing an anti-loitering law says that it has previously been used with a broad definition that police used to justify the arrest of someone because of their clothes they wore or where they stood at on the street. New York has been fighting for years to end what is become stop and frisk for transgender women of color and walking while trans ban, able profiling and arrest for transgender New Yorkers for doing nothing more than standing or walking on the street. And Human Rights Campaign President Alfonso David, in a statement, stated that data show discrimination. New York State Senator Brad, the lead sponsor for the bill, criticized the police report, said that the 1976 statute they used to stop people for wearing skirts, waving at a car, and standing somewhere other than the bus stop or taxi stand. Brad cited that the data in New York State Division Criminal Justice Services said that 2018 that 91% of people arrested under the statute were black and Latinas and 80% identified as women. The governor's signature eliminates the law for the entire state, but changes had already started taking shape prior to Tuesday repeal of the ban. Now, in 2016, the Legal Aid Society filed a civil rights lawsuit against New York City on the behalf of the women of color, many of whom were transgender, who were wrongfully arrested under the statute. 3 years later, the case was settled, and the New York Police Department agreed to revise the patrol guide section on the penal law code. And local district attorneys, one of the recent of last week, had voluntarily stopped enforcing the law due to the discriminatory impact. Now, Brooklyn District Attorney Eric Gonzalez announced that the office would vacate walking while trans bench warrants and the underlying charges in the borough. The first batch included 262 warrants dating back to 2012, which were vacated last week. The underlying cases dismissed, older warrants and plan to dismiss at a future date. Discrimination, transgender people, Governor Cuomo, and it's a good thing. The simple fact of the matter is that it's stated that that batch includes 262 warrants dating back to 2012, which vacated last week. Underlying the cases dismissed, older warrants are planned to be dismissed at a future date, which is great. They need to dismiss it ASAP, not at a future date. They need to dismiss it now. Because at the end of the day, the way this world always constantly changing, you need to do it now. Anyway, so the Brooklyn District Attorney area said that the office will vacate walking while trans bench warrants and underlying charges to the borough. Now, also stated that here is that in the New York State sponsor for the bill, Brad Lee, the sponsor for the bill, citing police report, says that in 1976 statute used to stop people for wearing skirts and waving to a car or standing somewhere other than the bus stop or a taxi stand. That means in between the streets, which is just basically harassment, just watching you, which cops do. We already know, walking while black, walking while trans, walking while gay, walking while everything. So we definitely know about discrimination, the way it happens within the world we live in. Unfortunately, we're still having this conversation in 2021. Okay, let me just share a little quick story with you. By me, fact that I used to work inside of New York City, and a lot of times discrimination does take place. Now, it's really weird because the target is a lot of times when it's a black and Latino, but I can only speak basically on, I can actually speak on both, on Spanish and also black people by my experiences dealing with different nightclubs and bars when it comes down to these establishments. Now, once upon a time, I used to work inside of New York City, and I used to be a bartender, and when I used to get off of work, cops would stop me. And the only time they started stopping us is when they started attacking the bar because they wanted to shut it down. It was a black bar. They shut down one establishment. It was after the next one. And the thing about it is that when they keep shutting down all these establishments, where black people's going to go? You know, and the thing about it is you cut your nose off to spite your face. And at the end of the day, a lot of times when they go to the white establishment, they try to go inside, they're carded and not treated equally as fair if their skin was a threat. Not all cases, but a lot of times it is very much of a difference. And so anyway, I had to get off work and go home and get ready to head home instead of going to my car because I wanted to go home because I was tired. I started working 9 o'clock in the morning to set up the bar, and then I had to you know, the thing about it with being a bartender is that which people don't quite understand. They think it's just come inside, they sit down, and they can have a drink. I don't never think people really understand the magnitude of work that you have to do to be a bartender and stuff. And I don't understand. Anyway, I don't want to go too far to the left. So the thing about it is they just set the bar for 9 o'clock in the morning. Then you have to wash the glasses to make sure everything is set up. You have to make sure you have to set your liquor up. Yes, everything up. Okay. So anyway, at this point, 9 o'clock in the morning, set the bar up. You know, you get the money count. Make sure you don't drink because at the end of the day, you're at work. People try to buy you drinks, stuff like that. It's a wonderful thing, but at the end of the day, you're at work. So at the end of the day, at 9 o'clock in the morning, you set up ice, glasses, clean everything down. So when you get ready to go home at night, you're tired. Because we all know, especially if you're a person that ever went to an establishment, which is a bar, when you walk in the door, you want your drink, within 5 seconds you walking in. If you don't, you out there. So at the end of the day, if you do those things, you lose money. So you have to hustle. So at 9 o'clock in the morning to 9 o'clock in the morning to 4 o'clock in the, not 4 o'clock in the morning, 9 o'clock in the morning till 6 o'clock sometime at night. And, you know, you would get off 6 o'clock, and then you get home. It's a great go home. The cops will stop me. Where you going? Why are you out here? You know, and I was like, I just got off work. Oh, sure you did. Where do you work? I started working at the bar. Oh, sure you do. You got proof? I was like, what are you talking about? And the thing about it, which was so weird, is because I was very unaware of it, because I think when you don't come from those type of backgrounds, you're really not aware of these things happening to you. You're the kind of person that think that I need to do something wrong for you to be stopping me. And when you're not oblivious, when I was very oblivious to the whole thing, I was not aware of what was happening. I knew about police stopping black people. I'm not saying that. But I felt like if I was walking down the street, you wouldn't be bothered. Now, let's be very clear about this when I say this to you. They were plain clothesmen. They didn't have on uniforms. So here it is. I have men coming up on me and women coming up on me, and they're cops, but they're dressed regular. And the thing about it is that it is a very problematic thing that when I share this with you, because I don't know if they're saying this part within this story, but they were plain clothesmen. Some used to be on the ground. Some would be acting like they were drunk. They were laying on the ground. They were all cops. And I used to watch it, and I used to sit down, and it was like watching a show, to the capacity that they would go through or to get people locked up. And you would hear the walkie-talkie, whatever things are they be talking into, and the radio, they're raiding, and the guy would hop up and start running, and then they all come shooting like cars. And I used to watch this whole thing happen, and I was dumbfounded, like, what is going on? And I'm never thinking that someone is being set up for something they didn't do until my turn came. And I'm going out the bar and I'm heading in, and next thing you know, they're stopping me. Where you going? What are you doing? Now here it is. I'm labeled as a prostitute and I just got off of work. And even though I'm telling them I just got off of work, I have to prove to them that I just got off work. And it was the grace of God that people knew me. That's the one thing I can honestly say. God has watched my back, because when the cops stopped me, my customers, they would come to my defense. Why y'all messing with Raven? Raven just got off work. You know, they would come to, I used to be scared for them because they used to go in for me. They didn't like the fact of me being harassed or, you know, be being a target. And I'm dumb to the whole thing, because I'm thinking, you know, it's going to clear it up and everything. And the cops are like, well, calm down. You know, y'all calm down. You know, and then the cops will show their aggressives. And here it is. I'm just getting off work and I'm tired. So this is a good thing. I don't want to make this too much of a long story, but this is a good thing that he's... Now the next thing is, will the cops follow the rules? That's the question. Even though it's a bill, will the cops follow the rules? There's a lot of rules set in place, and we know people are known for breaking the rules, and sometimes people become cops so they can break the rules. So it's not like it's going to be, you know, you got good cops, you got bad cops. You know, it is what it is. That's the world we live in. But at the end of the day, will we have cops, when they see the other cop doing something wrong, will say, yo, wait, you go ahead on and take that cop and pull him to the side. Say, you know what, we're doing something wrong here. Let's not do this. You know, and then pull the cop to the side. Instead of just, and that's the one thing I think that they need to do, as far as, like they kept saying, debunk the police. And like some people like, oh, you don't need to debunk the police. But the thing about it is that we need cops and stuff like that, but we need cops to call out their partners for doing wrong. They don't got to let the whole sergeant, everybody know. They need to go, yo, listen. When they see their partner doing something, say, you know what, you go ahead on and to tell your partner to the side and say, listen, this is not what we're going to do here. We can work together, but if you do this again, I'm going to the sergeant. You know what I mean? I'm going to report you, and we cannot do this. You know, and then that's way, it would be much more of, people will have much more of a better outlook. And let's be clear here. All cops are not bad. And sometimes cops get put in a bad situation for trying to jump in the middle of something that they don't even want to get into either, because we have to realize one thing: cops want to go home too, to their family. Who wants to go to work and get murdered? So it's like a gray area. But the thing about it is that when you're out here on the forefront, the good people always catch the holy, and then the bad people get away. You know, and that's how I feel. So when it comes to the cops and stuff, you know, especially when it's something like trivial, like you stand at the bus stop, or you know, and they think you're prostituting or selling your body, stuff like that. And the thing about it, if you're a sex worker, they already know most of the time, because most cops, I hate to say this, they're cross-dressers. That's why the girls get caught, because most cops are cross-dressers. They like to dress up like little girls and be spanked. Anyway, before I go to the left, ooh, mothers live. Anyway, before I go to the left, I'm just saying, I'm glad that they changed it. And I just wanted to share this with you. I thought it was a good thing, and I thought it was very positive. You know, it's a great thing. At the end of the day, like I said, there's good and bad people everywhere. All cops are not bad. All criminals are not bad. All criminals are not good. All cops are not good. It is a middle area. It's a great area. But at the end of the day, at least it helps. Every little bit helps. So, you know, it is what it is. But let's see how this works out. This is definitely going to be a to be continued situation. Anyway, y'all can comment below. Have you ever been discriminated against by a cop? Have cops ever stopped you that didn't that you knew it was a target because of your skin? You know, it is what it is. Anyway, like I said before, comment below at the top of this Instagram button. You follow me, I follow back. Let me know, let you know I love you, and thank you for watching. Kiss the ring.